Right. I'm super nervous about this next gig. So I've been playing in bands for years, and I haven't done an acoustic gig on my own for, apart from jam nights, obviously, where 2-3 songs, whatever, doesn't matter, and people don't expect you to be perfect. I've not done one. Can't even remember. So I'm playing at some Christmas fair type thing, and I don't know what to expect. There might be loads of people. There might be two. I really don't know. I've not seen what this thing is about. I just thought I'd help out a friend who's trying to do some bits for all the community and raise a bit of money. So yeah, my main thing is playing in bands. My main ones, Push to Open and Grande Quattro, both cover bands. Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to kind of be on my own. I'm very used to kind of bouncing off other people, picking out harmonies, doing, blasting a few songs out with some friends. So it's going to be interesting to see how I fare. My equipment that I'm taking: Takamine, Korean. I don't even know the model. It's an EG510SC. I don't think they're made anymore. Bought it off of a guy that he wasn't playing anymore, and I sold my acoustic at the time, an Aria, to someone learning, to because it didn't have a pickup system in it, and I wanted to have the option to do acoustic gigs if I needed to. I bought this 2 years ago, something like that, and I've used it once at a jam night. It went well. It sounded great. So I didn't think I'd want to use any more. Actually, no, I've used it twice. A lie. I used it at a friend's christening. Well, I say a friend's son's christening. All right, Jimmy. Where we sang songs to Shamo. But I really like the sound of this guitar, and I really like the way it plays. I set it up to be a little bit lower action than when I got it, but actually it was already set up really, really well. And when I tried it from the guy, I thought, yeah, this is good, and it wasn't a crazy amount of money. So there we go. So I'm taking this guitar. Has a preamp in it, which for me really helps to be able to, if it doesn't sound right, I mean, I know that at this acoustic gig it is turn up to a sound desk, there won't be a sound guy, so I've got to shape it a little bit myself, but I have gain, bass, I'll show you this. So yeah, I have gain, bass, mids, treble. There's then a notch filter. There is then you have an EQ bypass. There's a mid contour switch, and then the most important bit, a tuner to make sure you're in tune. But then because I'm so used to harmonies, I've decided I'm going to try this out. First time ever that I will have taken this out on a gig. I've tried it at home and it sounds great. So TC Helicon Harmony Singer 2 gives you choices of harmonies, as you should be able to see there. You've got like 2 below, 1 below, 2 above, 1 above, 1 below, 1 above, 1 above a bit higher, 2 above, all the, loads of different choices. You've then got the level of how much you want that harmony to come across. You've got built-in reverb, which you've got room, club and hall, I tend to put a bit of room. I don't want it to be too kind of spacey, because hey, if you get too muddy, then no one can hear what you're singing. And then it has a tone shaping, which is kind of essentially one of TC's preamps for vocals, and it makes me sound better. Doesn't make me sound good, it just makes me sound better. But essentially what this does, you put your guitar in one side, out the other side, and then it reads the chord that you are playing. So if you're playing a G and you sing a G, it will potentially bring out a B as a harmony. So really, really interesting to be able to then bring out a 3-part harmony on just your own, which, yeah, some people will say it's cheating, but let's be honest, when we perform to make it sound good. Some people can make things sound absolutely amazing on their own, and you know what, I use this sparingly, but I'm going to do some recordings on the gig to help you understand how I use it, and also so we can all learn a little bit. I am very, very nervous about this one, and yeah, I want to learn what people think about using pedals such as this when you're on your own. To, you know, does it feel weird to hear a harmony when there's only one person standing there? Especially when I, you know, come from a background of playing in bands that you know, harmonise with each other. You know, a family that have sung in choirs and stuff, and you know, all of these wonderful harmonies that they produce. So yeah, let's give it a whirl. The kind of girl, she's never alone. Leave 1,000 messages on her phone, but you know you never get through. You can have it all if you want it. You can have it all if it matters to you. Yeah, so time for that acoustic gig that I was worried about. I've got a few more bits of kit that I'm going to use, and see how it goes. Heaven smiles above me, of the gift down below. No one knows gift that you give to me. No one knows. That girl is down below. You leave 1,000 messages in your phone, but you know you never get through. You can have it all if you want it. You can have it all if it matters to you. Someone like me, oh, 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 oh. Someone like me, oh, 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 oh.
You there, your family when you're not around. I said, oh, no, she's changed. Well, you know what that means. It just means just jealous, but they'll never do the things wish they do so well. Says we gotta hold on to what we got. It doesn't make a difference if we're making or not. Got each other, that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, yeah, waiting. Whoa, feel it on prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Whoa, feel it on prayer. Feel it on prayer. 'Cause baby, I'm coming to, just like you said. You lead my life, I'm better out there. All this time to get home, it's scaring me down, my love.
Right, in between preparing and the actual gig, we put the Christmas tree up. And yeah, I think the gig went really well, actually. It was quiet. As I said, I didn't know whether it was going to be a big one, small one, what. I didn't really know a lot about it. But I think it went well. I mentioned that I would perhaps use some of the gear, some of the equipment earlier on in the video, just before that, when I was on the way. Plugged it in, tried it. It didn't sound good. It was a pedal that is actually designed for electric guitars to make them sound like an acoustic guitar. To give me a little bit more body in the sound. It didn't really work. It sounded good at home, but into the PA it didn't sound good. So what I did is went straight into the desk and just EQ'd it a bit and did it all myself. It was as I expected. No sound engineer. It was quiet, so at least I didn't have the pressure of loads of people waiting for me to play or anything like that. It was a card fare and kind of playing in the background. But they enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think I prepared well enough. They've asked me to do it again, so I probably will. As long as I'm still fit and able next year. So what did I think to the sound? The last two times that I've used that acoustic guitar, I was plugged into an amp, and it made a massive difference going straight into the desk. I could EQ the desk fairly well. But it was an old desk and not much EQ shaping possible on it. So I didn't quite have the control that I do with my desk. So I wasn't perfectly happy, and what I've decided is I am going to get an amp. I've got a few pedals that I don't need. I'm going to swap it with a friend who's got an amp that he doesn't need. So cheers, Phil. And we'll go from there on my acoustic sound. In terms of vocals, this thing, I'm going to have to get used to how to twist things to make them go straight to the camera. It did well. I really liked it. I think sometimes the vocal harmonies put me off a little bit because I'm not used to kicking a pedal and then hearing three different things coming out of just me. I'm very used to hearing a different voice with a... So it kind of felt like I was singing three notes, and it was a little bit strange. So I'd need to get used to that. But it went well. I'm happy. I think the best thing that the best few things that I can take from this. Number one, don't be afraid to experiment. Worst case scenario is that you just don't use the pedal if you don't like the sound. If it's there, you can use it. If it's not, don't. But also don't experiment with too many different things at the same time, which is why I decided not to use the other pedal, because you could end up, going down a rabbit hole of just gear, and then you end up with no idea, as they say, or the gear, no idea. So yeah, number one, don't be afraid to experiment. Number two, actually believing in yourself is massive when it comes to gigging. I'm very confident in the way that I place that in the mix of a band, but on my own it was, the first two songs were nerve-wracking, the rest of it was good. Somebody didn't turn up, and I ended up having to do an extra 20 minutes, which was fine. Again, because they were enjoying it, I was enjoying it. Anything else? I think the rest of the things pale into insignificance, really. Just the biggest thing, don't be afraid and be confident and believe in yourself. Prepare. There you go. That's the third thing then. Prepare. I'll make sure I try and get 3 things on each of these videos. But I didn't do tons of rehearsal, but I did make sure that the songs that I wasn't confident in, I made sure I was much more confident in. And that, I suppose, is the big thing, is not turning up and just not having an idea, if you don't know the song well enough, you end up just mumbling the song out and just kind of thumbing a few chords, and people go, yeah, I can do that at home myself. Whereas if you practice, and especially I practiced the stuff that I was going to use the pedal for, it was 2/3 of the songs I didn't even use the pedal at all. But I used it when I thought I could have a real impact on this song if I push this in here, and not have it on for the whole song, just have it in for the bits that really matter. So I think that's how I feel about it. Apart from really tired, it's like it's 2 days later, and I probably should have just not had beers. Yeah. Right, well, I'll leave you with a couple of outtakes.
Oh, she's changed. Well, you know what that means. It means.
Well, it turns out that I smashed that one. According to the people that organised it, I may have had after gig beers. Enjoy.